Test, test. All right. How's it going, crossbars? Getting ready, getting set up. Just bear with me for a moment. I don't really like this whole live platform thing. It is a freebie. I think I'm gonna break down and get something more solid once I get a thing rocking here. All right, let's get this. Where the heck is this thing at? All right, everybody getting this thing down. Gonna send out a tweet and then wait probably about a minute. Chat with you guys in a second before we get started. All right, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for joining me, Mr. Realistic, on a new episode of Bearish or Bullish Live Edition. As soon as I get this stuff down, the more I do it, the more I get a little better at it, kind of like trading. So that's definitely new to this live thing. I'm loving it. It's fun. But yeah, so once again, thanks. What's up, Stock Boy? We are going to have a great show here. If you haven't made any of the what are those things called? The things on the tweets when you talk. um, I'm definitely going to recap what I've gone over in some previous things as well so that we could get into it. It's going to be a fun show. So let me pull up where it's Spaces. There it was. Sorry, it was bothering me. I had to look it up. It's driving me nuts. Yes, Spaces. If you've seen some of my Spaces, you're going to get some stuff here. It's going to be fantastic. All right. All right, going. Feel free to type anything in the chat. I'll catch on to it as I'm going through things. If you've got questions or things that you want to see, feel free to absolutely drop it in there. All right, what's up, Paul? Yo, Stockboy and Paul up in the house. You know it's going to get crazy. Spaces, yes, Zach. Thank you, Spaces. Oh my gosh, driving me. I had no idea what's going on here. All right, so yeah, as you can tell, I'm young, but I'm not that young. I'm in my 30s. So I'm an 80s kid. All right, so let's see here. All right, I got one of Paul's faves up here, C-Jack, ready to rock and roll. I'm going to bring up a couple tickers right here. If you guys have a ticker, drop it up in the spaces. Ooh, filings by Friday, like that. I'm going to leave that up as I go through there. Don't you worry, Paul. I got to take care of you, man. Also going to take care of you with a little INND. And then I've had somebody ask me about VNTH. I got to go back to my Twitter after this too. I got to look up a couple things that people asked to put in there. I try to be as accommodating as possible for everybody. I love to interact with you guys. You guys are really, and ladies, Eager Beaver, possibly the greatest name of all time. Um, Yes, this has been a fun month. I mean, sure, the market's been shitty, but hey, guys, at least I'm having fun. So let's continue the good vibes and keep it rolling. Don't worry, things are going to turn around, and they started to today. If you didn't see my tweets, so I'm just popping up a couple here live. So Igex, I got you there. What we got there, Michael. I got you covered, man. Give me one sec. There's a couple of these guys I really have to put up on here. Somebody asked, I don't think they made the show for ILST, so I got to do that one again too. Um, Let me see here. So this is the thing that probably the only thing I don't like about TradingView is all of the bars up here. Like I have all those things open, but when I close it down and then I open up, it goes back to the last one I had on, and it's driving me up the flipping wall. If you can't tell, because I got to redo everything. Ugh, frustrating. So, just popping up a couple. Oh, there it is. I knew it was in there somewhere. All right. If you can please share feedback on Fern. Fern, I think I saw Slim say that they sold the news. Oh, let's look at why they might have sold the news. We'll get into that for sure. Liga, yes. Did I put that up there already? Man, not all right. I gotta leave C-Jack up there. I'll put Liga up next, and then what do you got? ET. So for Rita, for ETEK, it's going to be really hard to focus on the chart at ETEK at the moment because we really need to wait for the unsolicited quotes thing to come up. I'll pull it up on my browser if you give me a minute, and I'll show you what I mean if you don't know what that is. and the issue we're having with, or the issue they're having with it. What was it in there? Igex Liga, that's what it was. Liga, I think I had towards the bottom because it was a new guy. Just start typing these guys in. All right. All right. So Liga. Boop. Okay. Did exactly what I think I said on Sunday in the thing. Slight pullback again. All right. It's gonna get going. Today. Whoop whoop. CBGL. All right. Let's get that up here. A little bit of lag here, which is kind of weird because I have a really strong internet connection. That's what we pay the big bucks for, right? Let me see if I can change the latency. Settings. Stream. Oh, might be too late. Oh well, not a big deal. We'll get it on the next one. All right, and AHFD turning into a two-headed monster here soon. It's just got a lot of recovery to do. But as you guys know, I mean, if you're in AHFD, that 18 range to 20 range I was telling you all about, you guys are loving life right now. All right, so AHFD is somewhere right around here. Yeah, there's a lot of these tickers getting really, 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 really close. All right. So we got Illis, we got RGPP. Okay, so let me get these last four in, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Got a lot of tickers, so it's gonna be a fun evening. Thanks for stopping by. All right. How was everybody's trading day? We have a good trading day. All right, let's see, Physic. Okay. Oh, mother. All right, that one's. Yeah, I can see why you want to look at that one. iFan and then Ellison RGBP. All right, so before I even look at RGBP, I use that chart for a lot of examples just because of the pullbacks that they got, and they've had two similar runs. So off the top of my head right now, I was telling y'all it was just going to be a little bump and then run, and then later down the road pop up. We can compare that. Illis is consolidating right here. That's good. RGBP, yeah, MJWL. I'm telling you, in my opinion, it's going to do very well. All right, so let's get that up. RGBP, toner's going to be number one. All right, so let's get this in here. RGBP. All right. Oh, APTY. I was talking to True Stock about that. You guys got some good news coming in. Good news coming. Not news, but like chart news. All right. APTY. All right. Boom. All right. Oh, did ETA go green today? Let me look at that. Maybe they got through. I got to look at their website. So I'll pull that up, Rita and Michael. We'll take a peek at that first. I need to look at the OTC markets going through there. A lot going on here. ETK. All right. That'd be wild. Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. So we'll definitely check into that. Let's pull up. All right. So let me pull up my browser real fast. Okay. OTC markets. All right. So if you don't know this already, check out the share structure video, and that one will show you about the structure of all of them. If there's any holds on the company, yeah, so it's unsolicited. All right, let me see if I can pull that over and see what this does. Okay, just have to switch the switch the screen over here. All right, there we go. All right, so before we get started, thank you all for attending Bearish or Bullish live episode with myself, Mr. Realistic. Before we get started, please know that I am not a financial advisor. I am purely here for entertainment purposes. Please do your due diligence. And that is that. All right, this is not financial advice. Okay, everybody, super excited for this week. It's going to be fantastic. Man, the energy was high today. So, ETEK, if you go to the OTC markets, you've got this problem right here. And this is the security is eligible for unsolicited quotes only. If you read that, the stock is not eligible for proprietary broker quotations. INTK was going through the same thing. Theirs was more of a pink situation. This was not a pink situation. The company said that it's because of their shell on their company. So until they get that that company to that merge with, they've got that shell structure, or at least the paperwork to get that through. And once that happens, they said that this will go away. So you got to wait for that going on right there. So let me look over the share. Yeah, so you got about 5 billion outstanding shares right there. Okay. From what I remember, what I've read, it's been a little while going in. ETEK had a lot of buzz around it, really, really going well. It really just needs to get that company to come in and to take over. So that's the issue right there, and that's why I'm saying it's kind of tough to figure that one out, because I really, I mean, I just can't. I can't do anything because of the unsolicited quotes. So that means like brokers, there's no real money makers on the show to sell. Like I know like Schwab you can't buy on there and some other ones. So really tough to chart this. Let me close that out as it's blocking my screen. So I mean, if we're looking at the chart right now, it looks pretty good. We're seeing a reversal right here and coming up and through. I mean, maybe the chart's still in play. It's just unknown territory right now for the unsolicited quotes thing. This is a great chart for reversal on the daily. Look at, you got the MACD crossing right here coming up. You've got your 8 MA coming up. This 21 slightly coming down. You want this to curl up beneath the green line, the 8 MA, and then be good. I mean, for a chart that's left in unsolicited quote land, this is pretty solid. So you should feel pretty good about that. We've got the 200 on the top. So before we get into that, let me go to toner real fast. I just want to brief touch on the moving averages for our friends that have never watched my videos before or new to charting. All right, so I use technical analysis for all my plays. Okay, so I purely go based on the charts, because I've found that while trading and learning the charts, everything is based upon the chart, and then the catalysts and everything are just like the added, flame to get it going. Okay, so that's why it's so big of a move. So right now, my moving averages, I use green equals 8 MA, so moving average, 8-day. All right, that's the weakest of them all. The next one is the 21 moving average. Okay, that's the blue. All right, third weakest. Or yes. And then we have a runner-up, which is our 50-day moving average, yellow, and then our strongest one is the 200-day moving average. Everything's going around the 200. Yeah, man, no problem. Everything revolves around the strongest indicators. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. All right, we know that the 8, the 8, the green is the weakest. All right, so we want the weakest on top, and we want the support at the bottom. Okay, you want the muscle at the bottom holding up the pyramid. Okay, so we've got that here. All right, so this is the trifecta. You see me or hear me say code green, blue, yellow, purple. We're in the perfect order. We're seeing this like fan kind of going out through here. This is exactly what you want to see on it. Okay, now this pertains to the time frame as well. So up here I've got my time frames, right? Weekly, daily, hourly, 30 minute, 15, 5, and 1 minute. Weekly, as you would figure, would be the strongest, one being the weakest. Okay. So if you're looking at the weekly, each one of these candles takes 1 week to develop. So to get all these indicators like this, it took, you know, let's just scroll out. Look at all the weeks. These are like little weeks of doing nothing. It took all these weeks to just get to that. So that's why it's so impressive, okay? So if we're looking at this right here and right now, okay, it's in the perfect order. We're super excited. If we took some lines here and drew them at the bottom of the support lines, running up through the bodies, the bottom of the candles, and just kind of running through there, we make this bullish pennant. Okay, so you got a flagged 2 lines. Okay, pennant is just like a triangle. So bullish pennant, okay, comes up, it hits here, it comes back down, it comes up and it pushes through. It comes back down again, we want to make sure it holds that. If it bounces up, it's most likely going to break the pennant towards the end. So this week, if you could guess why I've been so bullish, I mean, these indicators show it right here. The weekly pennant is about to bust open. All right. It tried to bust upwards right here. It got rejected. We got some cool downs for 3-4 weeks. All right. Now, week 4, we're ready to move and groove and really bust up out of there. Okay. So that's why I'm really high on toner right here, because the weekly, the strongest indicator, is ready to rock and roll. Let's go to the second strongest one. Look over here. Okay. If I got to take this thing out of the way so you all can really appreciate how close we are. This is the final indicator. I don't think I can get any closer. The final indicator to the puzzle right here. Okay. So this is the second longest one it takes to come over the daily. And what you need to understand is with with moving averages, it's not about just being on top, being below, and doing all that. The angles, and this took me a while to figure out. It wasn't like, oh yeah, nobody tells you. I had to learn this on my own. I literally studied charts and just looked at it and stared at it, and I would just analyze it. And I'd go, why isn't this? Here, I'll show you in my example. This is a perfect example. Doing this. So VNTH, I was going through, and I'm like, man, this thing's perfect. I mean, everything I've learned and everything, you want the 8 over, you want to do this. All right. Look, it's getting bounces right off of this, the 21, and just cuts down. It should have went right there. Right. Right. I'm like, what's going on? And it's because this 21's in free fall, and they're not going to go in that. And it's the 200 too. I'll get into, but it's really important that you look at the way these stocks look when they're taking off. So like, look at this. They're all going upwards. Okay. They're all going at this like 45-degree angle. All right. Almost 75 degrees. And then coming back and they do it again. And it's the angle is so important of these indicators, especially the ones on the hourly, daily, and weekly, because those are harder to move. So that was a huge takeaway in my learning. So if we're looking at that on the daily chart, not only is the MACD just crossed over bullish here on toner, I mean, look at the angle of this freaking 8MA coming in, and it's forcing this 21 to come up as well. It's just starting to turn. Notice how it went flat. It was coming down and flattening out, and then it's going to come up like this. So if it's not really go through. So it's going to come up and over, and it's going to make this bullish cross tomorrow. And as soon as the 21 curls up with it right below, or yeah, right below it, we are gonna absolutely effing explode. And it's gonna be the most beautiful thing because it's gonna line up perfectly with the weekly pennant. All right. It's gonna come right out here, bust above here. It's gonna be beautiful. End of the week. I mean, this is just the beginning, in my opinion. And to explain that, you need to see stocks that have done really well. I mean, look at the daily on here. Look, when those 4 crossings happen, all right, these are each candle here represents a day. All right, look how ILUS, this is the first run back in February. Look what this did. Like, this is just the beginning. All right. All right. this is just the beginning. Now it's starting over again. Okay, so that's what I'm going to get into in a second. So it cooled down here. All right, and now we're looking. All right, this one also went from 002 to 18. It takes a little longer to cool down, if you know what I mean. Look at the time frame. All right, we didn't do anything crazy like that. That's why. But then look, as soon as those indicators come back together and they're all in sync, look at this. Phew. I mean, there's multiple stocks that'll show you this. Fern, another one. All right, look at the daily. This goes for all time frames, but I'm just using the daily. Look at this. Beautiful how Fern has just controlled this and just stayed up and over. It shows you how strong these 250 are. And it's following this amazing pattern as it goes. Fern, you're looking for support right here. Boom. All right. This is not even close to the end of Fern. So if you're holding Fern and you're worried about it, do not, in my opinion. All right, so that's what we're getting started right here. We're getting that started. This is the new leg right here. This is the first little bump that we get started before it takes off. So this is, before I get into all these charts and everything, I know that we get antsy and we just want to see the profit. We want to see the green. I want to see it. It's a completely normal feeling. But we have to understand that a stock that comes straight up goes straight down. That's a pump and dump. Straight up, straight down. Okay, we want to build support and we want to build a strong base each time we go. We're building those steps as we're going along. So let me pull this up. So a lot of you, if you're new, all right, probably weren't around for ENZC, and a lot of people would go, "Oh man, that ran great in 2020." Not really. Anybody know when that ran? I know Stockboy does. Let me pull that back real fast. All right, zooming out here. All right, so this is the daily. Okay, so look at this chart, and you'd say, "Holy, yeah, you're right. These are what we're looking for, and this is why you're waiting for patience." All right. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. A lot of you right now are saying, yeah, that is really nice. Guess what? It all started right here. See that little bump? Look at the date right below, October 6th. All right, let's zoom in on that. Take a peek at it. All right, so it all started back in October 6th. In October, you would say, oh my gosh, oh, I got in at the top. Oh, this thing's failing. All right, because it just pulled back. Look, it just dropped 70%. Yeah, I know it doesn't look like much from here, but we zoom in, that's a huge, it's massive. All right, it went up from triple O's all the way up to almost a penny, and then it free falled all the way back down to a low of 28. All right, boom. Look at, and then it jumps again. Look, these are days, by the way, daily right here. So this is how many days. I mean, literally, these people right here are probably crying that they sold. Imagine selling ENZC at double O's. Oh my gosh. Millions of shares for thousands of dollars. Millions of dollars left on the table right there. Oh, look at the indicators, by the way. All right. Keep an eye on those things. All right. So, I mean, look, this is normal. Building up, going up, building the step. Consolidation upwards, going up, building the step, going up. All right. So now we have new higher lows when we're creating that, and we continue to go up. And look at these indicators; they're just flying up. All right. Higher highs at 11 cents here. All right. Gets up to 12 and a half, but then it falls down to 386. I can guarantee you right now, everybody in this room watching this right now, if you bought at 12 and a half right here, all right, one, two, well, it'd be, what's got the first day drop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. All right, that's 2 trading weeks. you guys are all probably crapping your pants going, God, I just got hosed on a pump and dump. Yeah, that's what it looked like until you watch the indicators flatten out and it just noticed that it was a pullback because it was normal because it just ran a shiz ton from here to here. That's a 1,000, almost 1,100% gain. All right. And then it needed to cool off some. So it came back down and now we're sitting at a 70% retrace. Wow, that sucks. No. All right. It sucks if you bought right there, but in the long run, it didn't really suck. That's when you average down and you bring your costs down. You just got more for 70%. That's a freaking gift. All right. Would you rather buy up here and have it crash down more? So keep an eye on these indicators and watch how they go and how they follow and they make the entryway so much easier. You see this? Easy entryway. You see all these coming out together? Boom. All right. Going up, going up. This is where it's important to understand candles because you can start to inseminate when a turn is about to happen. And you can be like, oh, all right, it's starting to turn down. I'm going to take my profit out. I got in over here at, a penny. And sure, I didn't hit the top right there at 12 or whatever, but hey, I just sold at 9. All right, so that's at 9x. And then wait for the turnaround, come through here. Oh, hey, look, this is a cross. I'll buy back at 7.5 after I just played something else and made some money on it. And then, oh, I got in at 7.5 after I cashed out at 9, basically ripping free shares. And then, oh, what's that? What's that? Oh, I guess keep scrolling up. It's so freaking high. 96 cents. Yeah, and you bought it for 7.5 after you sold it for a little bit more. Sounds pretty freaking awesome to me. So, all you have to do is follow those indicators and see where they're going. All right, starting to go. All right, I would have pulled right there. Dead cat bounce. Boop, boop, and kind of rolling out. And it's been recovering ever since. That's a long run. Long run. So if we look back and we take here from here, boom, 35,000%. Tell me you wouldn't love to see that if you were in there. You know how long it took? 129 days. 129 days for that to occur. Okay? And it all started, actually, it took longer than that. Say you got back at the first bump, if you held at the first bump. So if you held from here to there, gosh, I can't even get it into my screen. I have a 27-inch screen. I can barely fit it into this thing. It's massive. All right, look at this thing. Boom. All right. So I mean, it's just wild, absolutely wild. 24,000. 175 days. Okay, so it takes time, it takes patience as we're going through this, and it's important to remember, um, remember that, and then remember, whatever comes up must come down. All right, that's a huge run to go that much. Okay, it's got to come back and it's got to cool off. Okay, and we're going to get into some technicals about why these charts are the way they are. So let's start off on the row, and I'm going to work my way down as we get into it. Okay, so toner, weekly's bullish. We're about to make the final bullish crossing right here. MACD's crossing up. It's beautiful. And we get into the hourly over here. Okay, so we made our 2 final crossings on the hourly today. Way to go, everybody. You guys rocked it. I'm glad we closed at where we did. Created the next step. Okay, even one more would be beautiful. Okay, we'll probably get a red on open tomorrow, less pinks there, and then it'll probably bounce off there and just rip. Okay, so look at these dailies. This is beautiful. All right, this is hourly. Excuse me. So hour, boom. All right, so golden cross, lined up perfectly. So this thing is in for a run. So the last time on the hourly that all 4 of these did that was my little friend right over here, September 13th. What a beautiful day if you were in there. I was not, but that is a beautiful day to get in. Let's say you got in on that day. Yeah, that is 4,312%, and it looks like I left a little off the top. So, 4,300%. Not too shabby, I'd say. So as we're going through there, I don't know if we'll hit those highs because we're talking about triple O's. But I mean, if we could hit some high highs, that'd be really nice. We're gonna make our way up, and that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna go this, and then let me zoom out as far as I can. Computer's lagging a little bit. Stream service going on. Um, so what we're looking for is. All right, so we want these moves, and this will help us build a nice strong chart, all right, as we continue to go. All right, we might get another one of these, and this could be the downspout, or it could lead into another higher high. I don't know. It just depends on the news and everything. That's kind of where Fern, I'm going to move Fern up because it's a good example of that breakdown. Man, this lag is driving me nuts. And I've got a really good computer. It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, toner, this is just the flipping beginning. And this is why I was excited all day and super excited for tomorrow. I'd get really loud and super excited right now, but my kid's literally right behind this wall, and I don't feel like dealing with that. All right, so toner, beautiful. Okay, so let's look at the weekly of Fern. Always look at the weekly first. See where your indicators are at. Fern. All right, green, blue, yellow, purple, perfect. And just keep in mind, I just use these colors. I can make them any colors I want, but I feel being a teacher and everything, the easiest way people get together, I find that our visuals and are very easy and simplistic to go to learn it from because there's just repetition. Okay, so everybody uses the same thing. It just keys right into the memory. So green, blue, yellow, purple. We're all in that. We got that fan flowing up. Look at the angles that's going in. Notice that it's holding this 8 MA support right here. All right, this is beautiful. What could happen in, not saying it will, because this is a lot of consolidation right here on the weekly. It could come down to here, right in the 3 zone, but it doesn't matter because it's going to create a higher high, higher low, and then a higher high. Very bullish on Fern. I think Fern is fantastic. So let's see here. Doo, 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 doo. All right, so here we go. Daily. Let's look at Fern from a further out perspective. Notice all the indicators up, gets its first bump, slightly comes down, comes up again, comes under the 50, up. It's just riding this 50 all the way up. So, you know, if it does it once, does it twice, could do it a third time. So look for it to continue to do this. This is a beautiful chart. Look how it's just rolling with the Mac. Okay, so it's ran up and now it needs to cool off some. Okay, and then it's going to go up and it's going to cool down some. All right, so I'm a buyer at these levels, in my opinion. I think that indicators are still good. I mean, look, you got the green, beautiful, awesome. RSI is really low. Really doesn't make sense why anybody would sell at these levels based on those technicals. Um, yeah, I mean, looks good. It just looked like it just got a little pullback. Look, there was a little step here and came up, and it looks like it's a bigger step and then kind of going to go. I like Fern at this. So if it's not in the daily, all right, the indicators move a lot more as they go into the hourly, the 30, 15, and 5. They get more volatile and they move around a lot easier as you can watch them. It could drive you nuts sometimes because they move so much and you overthink things. That's why I think the weekly and daily are the best to look at. Um, so the next one up is the 200. Now, this is a very important part that I want us to kind of understand. So, like I said at the beginning, the 200 moving average is the strongest indicator of the moving averages. Okay, so let's take a peek and let's walk down memory lane as if when it's on the bottom. Okay, when the 200's on the bottom, okay, and everything else is above. All right, we're great. All right, when the smaller indicators break below a strong support, look what happens. Okay, what happens is They're trying to find the support on this side. If it breaks all of these supports, it's already gone through the 50. The next one it's going to find is the 200. All right, notice how it bounced right off of there. Found that great support right there. Okay, and then it shot back up. But the problem here, all right, and this is something we got to keep in mind. It took me a while to understand this too. All right, these strong supports, the 50, the long term, and the 200 long term. Okay, they also act as resistance. Okay, once you go beneath them, they act as resistance. Okay, if you're above, all right, you're above them, they're supporting you. You go beneath it, they act as resistance. Look, it's riding here the whole time. Okay, slightly above it. Okay, bouncing off and on. Never really established above. And then look, it got bounced below. And during that time frame, look, the 200 continued to grow and it actually went over all of them. That is a very bearish move when the 200 is over top of your other indicators, your other moving averages. Okay, because look, that's a clear indication of sell. Hence the red candle right here. Notice how the price goes down as the short-term indicators go to the bottom and the stronger ones go to the top. All right. Now, what is extremely, extremely impressive, and I completely mean this, is this because this doesn't usually happen from what I've seen, okay, is with Fern, okay, you usually get this bounce off and it kicks back down more. All right, look at this. It barely kicked off and it held that line. It was like I use the analogy of a boiling pot of water with a lid on the top. And if you think of the lid, the 200 as the lid, all right, you've got all this pressure building up, all the bubbles and everything. And it's really getting ready to roll and it's going. And the lid's starting to shake. And, all right, it's starting to shake and that lid's just keeping it down. But eventually, you're going to build up so much pressure that boom, you shoot up out of it. It's pops the lid off, and then the lid falls to the ground. All right, now your 200 is going to move down to the ground. All right, and use that as support. So look as we follow it, it goes up when they go above. You had a bullish cross. This to me makes zero sense. Somebody dumped. Look, someone dumped. No, but this is an hourly candle. All right, I saw the same candle on what ticker did I see? ILST. ILST did the same thing. I was talking to somebody. I want you to keep an eye. Look at this volume. This doesn't make any sense to me. All right, look at this volume going right here. And then you have a huge red candle on good news. That showed to me that, in my opinion, looks like some manipulation. In my opinion, okay? Um, that's a large red candle to dump, especially if it holds up at the 200. That doesn't make much sense. So I'm going to bring up the ILST chart, okay, and we're going to go to the hourly. All right, let's click on the hourly. See, same one. All right, so something was going on there. I mean, it's not even that big of a red candle on this one either. So I don't know. That's weird to me. Okay, that's weird, and that's some OTC. See, that's a bigger candle. That doesn't make any sense based on these indicators, based on everything going up right here. To pull back this much, not really seeing that. So um, this should find support right here. Absolutely should find support at the 200 on the hourly and bounce up, especially if we look at the daily chart right here, okay, and we look at the weekly chart. Nothing indicates that this thing should go down at all past the 200 on the hourly chart. This is a very bullish chart. This one candle right here doesn't make an iota of sense. Okay, I understand it if it's like this. You know what I mean? It's you just had a big run and then you're coming down and you need a little bit of pullback. This isn't a run here. This is just a nice movement. So I think somebody got something wrong or they're going after something else. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me, in my opinion. So let's keep an eye on it for a day, Fern. It should hold this level right here because that's just mind-boggling to me that somebody would sell that. Okay. All right. Let's go through. All right, so INND has a little ways to go. So, like I said, 20 on top, very bearish. So that's what it's trying to do. Look, this is what I'm talking about. So it could break through, but it's still, it's still got this resistance line as well to go below, and it's gonna pop right down. And look, it forces that down. So now we want to see the 50 MA on the daily here holding right here. So these are candlesticks or days. So we really need to see this hold on the 50, and if it can bounce up, maybe it gives enough pressure to send this thing over. All right, we got to wait and see. That's not very helpful, but that's just because of this right here. Okay, some greens can turn that around. All right, weekly has some work to do as well. And this is why I said I thought you guys were several weeks away from a big move up in so 2022 is because you got the 200 on the weekly and it takes a week for each one of these candles. But look, you got your indicators flying up. Look at the 8 MA and the 21 are coming up. This is beautiful with that. So, a couple, I don't know, 3 months, maybe 2 months, 2 months. I just want to play it safe. Month and a half, 2 months. I'll say 2 months, okay? For INND for a bigger run. I'm not saying that it can't. Like it could break up to here and get in the fours and stuff, but I'm talking about like a big run. Um, so yeah, I mean, look at here's the hourly. All right, 200's acting as support. So now we want to see the 50 and the 21 break up, and then we want to see this uh, yellow one move up as well. All right, and so it's just going to take some time. I think that it will continue to grow. All right, and what we want to see is, we don't want to see this thing go back down to its low area right here. We want to see it hold the support level right here to create these new higher lows and to continue to go up and then down, up and down, making its way over those weeks to um, a higher SP over time. Slow and steady always wins the race. All right? You don't want to spend all your gas just flooring it and trying to get there as fast as possible. All right, so VNTH. So VNTH is is a solid play in my opinion, and this is why. All right. So as you can see, okay, it's descending down. Ooh, I haven't looked at the weekly in a while. Let me delete that. That's really old. I don't want to put anything there yet. So we're going to start consolidating, finding a base in this, 40, 50 range right here. This is a weekly candle, by the way, and then it's going to start going. Look at these moving averages. Beautiful. Okay, so we just got to give it some time, and the time being is because of the daily and the hourly. Look how close the MACD is. So the histograms right here, the bigger they get in the start, the darker the color, the larger they're going to get. They're moving upwards. If they're darker, they're getting upwards, and lighter, they're tracking back down. These indicate the distance in between the smooth and the MACD line. Okay, so the smooth line is literally a smooth line. You see the MACD kind of like goes up and it's got little sharp edges. So you want the MACD on top, you want the smooth on the bottom. Okay, and then you've got the positive side up here, and then you've got this negative side down here, and I'll let you guess which side's better. So obviously we want to see it come up here with the blue on top, and then the smooth line on the bottom, and that's what's happening. And you notice, look how it's shortening down. So we should start to see this consolidation start to come in. Now we've got the 21 coming down here. We need to kind of get this to smooth out as over the daily here. It's going to take a couple days. It's fine. But this is great. We're finding support at the 50 right here, and we're also finding this 8 MA starting to turn up, which is great on the daily. It's going to take a couple weeks. I'd say at least two. Like I said, this is more of a recovery phase, not like, hey, the SP is going to go up from like 50 to 65 or something like that. It's more of a, hey, this chart's ready to actually make moves kind of deal. Okay. So if we look at the hourly, we can see that the 200's on the top, and that's why I'm kind of waiting it out right now with the VNTH. It had that. This is called the death cross right here when the higher moving average is on top. So we don't obviously want that. And so as it went by this cross right here, and it continued to go down because of the crossing right here. And we're just going to stay beneath this. This is the boiling lid. It's going to kind of hold it down. Right now, the 50's acting as that. Look how, all right, so the 50-day moving average on the hourly, all right, broke beneath it right here, and now it's acting as resistance. So you might get a little down here before you go up. But notice the 21 and the 8MA, all right, they're both starting to turn up, which means that we're going to find some support to bust through this thing. As I'm trying to find an indicator on here. All right, so look right here. Notice they're both turning up right here. Look what happens. It finds it above, but it comes back down and finds it as support. So that's kind of what's going to happen here, in my opinion. We're going to kind of get this kind of thing right here. All right, some consolidation, and then next they're going to have to do the same thing to the 200. So it's going to take some time. And remember, we still got to factor in the daily, and this all affects the daily as well. So VNTH is solid, but you got to be patient on it because it's going to take weeks. All right, not days. It's going to take 2-3 weeks. Okay, so it's definitely a good play if you're patient enough. I mean, great levels, absolutely. 40s, 50s, you're not going to see these again, in my opinion. So it's just going to take time. All right. So PUGE, man, has this one fallen down like people have just forgotten it's like off the planet, which is hilarious because this is the hottest ticker going a couple weeks ago. It just mind boggles me. I know people don't understand, and that's what I'm here. I wanna help people understand, but you you should never push a stock because if you push something too hard, it's eventually going to fail. Okay, it just cannot keep it up. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with the RSI, that's the relative strength index. It's this chart right here. Okay, so if you're looking in the purple shadow zone right here, bottom of the dotted lines are 30% and top of it is 70%. This indicates the strength of a stock, and you want to keep it in this zone. Like this is what you want. That's solid. Okay, if it falls below that zone, all right, it's considered oversold, which means this could be a good buying opportunity. So if it fell down in here, June 28th of 21, okay, so right here, this is particularly oversold, so that's 0014, all right, and let's see what happens as we go. Oh, hey, look, it's continuing to go up. It's getting close to the overbought zone. What are we looking at here? All right, so now we're at 23, all right. All right, not too bad. You just went up to 34. All right, you took a little profit because you noticed this was high, and look how it's riding that line and then kind of going down. All right, so RSI is I like to think of it as the fuel for the ride. Okay, so all right, eventually you have to stop and you have to fill up for gas. All right, you've got it. So what we did in PUGE is we decided, hey, I'm going to take this really nice sports car, right? I'm going to make it really nice. Just got it. It's brand new. Just got it out of the showroom. I'm going to get it really, really nice. I'm going to get high test gas in it. I'm going to get the bells and whistles. I buy it on the September 20th, and I hit the gas, and I just keep pushing it down. Go, 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 go. Man, oil's getting low, everything's getting low, and a month later, after being in the overbought territory, your car goes to the repair shop. You're out of gas, you're out of everything, and now the repair shop's like, yeah, I'm going to have to order these parts, and we're going to need everything to cool down, and that's where we've been at ever since. Okay, this thing got abused in the double O's, unfortunately. And, if you were following me earlier, I was preaching about how it needed to cool down right around here. Right around here. I said, gotta let it breathe. We gotta let it cool down. People thought I was, no one took me seriously. I don't really care. But I told you it's gonna fail and it's gonna take a long time to recover. Look what continued to happen. People are like, oh man, this has had a lot of time to recover after here. No, you don't understand. It doesn't take a week of recovery, all right, for something like that. It takes weeks of recovery. That's why it's so important that you don't go straight up. Look at this. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 days, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of those days were red. Not only red, is every one of those was it was up at some point and rarely went down. So green candles, it opened at the bottom of the body of the candle and closed at the top. Okay, red's opposite. It opened here and then closed here. All right. So look, I mean, it closed here and then it closed here. How the hell, that's not cooling off at all. Barely anything. All right, so you're talking about using and abusing this thing. I'm shocked it even actually made it through this part right here. Look, I mean, look at the indecision going on. We're almost have dojis all over the place. And a doji is it's kind of right there. It's hard to see. It looks like a plus sign. Okay, it means you open and close at the same price. And going through. So I mean, this is pretty close to a doji. There would be no body. It'd just be a line coming across horizontally right here. But we hit the top here and we just pushed it too hard to get too much gas. And look, it's just been coming down. Now the good news is it's cooled off. It's ready to go. I mean, we've been in the cool zone. We got out, say the 21st, okay, and we've gone almost a month cooling down, and it was much needed. All right, hopefully everybody understands that in the future. This green candle right here, I don't think will last. I think that was based on the 8K at the end. I read it, and I think it was just amended based on a stock twits thing. But yeah, let's see the indicators. Bullish. Look at those on the weekly. Very good. Daily's currently around. So what we want to see here. All right, I take that back about the green candle. Anything could happen. Look, they're both moving up very well right here. So this is going to move. And I said in my spaces earlier today that Pugue is one of the next ones that is going to run, and it's going to run relatively soon. This is days here, so I said closer to mid end of the week, we're going to start getting a push. Okay, we'll probably get a heavy volume at first, and then it'll come back down. People are like at the Hubot up here at 1.7s or whatever. It's like, get me the hell out of here. That should be absolutely stupid, but I digress. The hourly. So as you all know, this is the top. Okay, going through here. So it takes a lot to jump up and through and up and over there. We got a nice solid green. I don't know. I mean, look, it jumped through the 50 and it jumped through the 200. I don't see that happening. You just don't see that happening on the green side very often. Looking through here for any other indications, but it hasn't been bearish of that nature since then. I mean, look what happens. All right, so look at this. Okay, so back here on the 8th, all right, it gapped up on from the 5th to the 8th. All right, just shot up right here and above the 200. It was unnatural. Okay, and we'll look what happened. Okay, because the 200 is still above, and none of these indicators have been moving up since. It was just unnatural and it wasn't ready. Look at the short terms, but the 50 wasn't ready. So what needs to happen, okay, is we really need this 50 to get closer to the 200 before this kind of gap goes. I'm not a buyer. I own Pugue right now. I've just been holding. I'm not a buyer at these levels right here because I just don't think it's quite there yet. I don't think it's quite ready. I think it's a couple days away. I'm not saying that this by no means is a bad entry point, but it's not the best entry point. And why would I want to buy at a higher level and then see my thing go down and then not know? Because this is never confirmed until it actually happens. So I don't want to take that risk. All right, I take the risk out of it. So yeah, Citadel dump. Yeah, definitely could be. You know what? It's really interesting though. The more that I look, I found out in charts and level two made a lot more sense to me because of the charts. Okay. So you guys see walls, and that's exactly what I saw too. We'd get these walls up, but what they're doing is they're putting up the walls, one, because they're resistance levels and they don't want to go until the volume's going, but also they're putting up those walls to create these steps. You know, I like to indicate them as steps. Okay, puke's not the best one to use. So toner, I like toner's chart more. Um, Oh, I left my chart on there. My fault. All right. I guess I need my pointer. These steps right here. Okay. So what they're doing is the M&Ms. They're delicious. M&M is money makers are they're doing this. So they're hitting there and then they're cooling it off and they'll bid dump to bring the price down and then they'll stop and then you'll see there's nothing there and then they'll let it come up. That's what they're doing when they put up those walls. All right, they're not there just to bid dump and everything. That's what I always thought before I started getting really into the technical aspect of this and everything. They're actually creating the chart, which is kind of wild to think about. You'll see these million or 2 million walls pop up, and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's never ending. Or you just keep buying and buying and buying. It's because of the resistance line, and they're waiting for the volume to kick up. You know, when I'm telling you guys we need to break this, but we need volume, it's because you could keep buying the 500 or 250 that they have there, and they'll just keep replenishing or put a million there until the volume picks up that they can't keep up, and they let it go. So what they're doing is they'll wall it here so it comes back and cools and then it'll let go and it'll buy back up. And they're creating the chart. So I don't know if it was a moneymaker dip on the Fern and ILS T. So yeah, it'd be interesting. But back to Pugue, it's close. Look at that. Really, really close. So definitely it's a good level to go. I think tomorrow you're going to get a better entry point somewhere around here. Um, I just think it's going to come down because look at the short-term indicators are below both of these. That doesn't make any sense. And I guarantee you, people are probably going to wake up and buy it, and it's probably going to be up in the high 120s, maybe even 130s. I mean, I'm tempted to sell mine and then rebuy right there in that day because of these indicators. I'm not doing it to block. I wouldn't do it to block the stock, and it's not that many shares anyways. And I won't do it because I don't have time. But I mean, literally, if right here, and what I would do is I'd create support down here for this one to help push it up and move forward. Okay, because that's what you want to do. All right. You wanna make sure that you're able to support your stock and to be able to slap when needed because that volume's not always there. And sometimes we need to have that extra dry powder on hand to help push the stock. That's why you'll see me slap them constantly. Um, Even if it's a little bit, like a couple 100,000 shares, like anything just to get that thing going. I mean, think about it. If we had, you know, 100 people slapping 100,000 shares, 10 million shares. All right. Hope I did my math there right. That's a lot of volume going in right then and there. So that's what I'm saying. It's the volume would proceed, and so it would drive it up, and then the MMs would bring them down some, and then they would reset the next level. So that's why it's important to understand the charting aspect. All right, so Pugh's definitely going to be bullish here in the near term. So keep an eye out on that. All right, so I made a bold prediction in my spaces today. If you were in there, okay, my bold prediction is possibly tomorrow. At, I'll let you know why I think it's more Wednesday in a minute, but I think that we see a breakout in CYBL. Okay, and here's why. All right, and before I say it, I want you just to stare at this daily. Let's look at the weekly chart first. All right, because I always tell you guys look at the weekly. All right, look what we got formed here. Okay, on the weekly. Okay, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Going down here doesn't make any sense. Okay, now let's go to the daily. Okay, this thing has been in the making. Look at the cool off from here. Okay, all right. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Boom. thing is going to rocket. Look how the support is holding on. It for the last 3 days has bounced off the 50-day moving average. The 8MA is curling up, and eventually that will force the 21-day moving average to curl up as well. Okay, our MACD indicator right here has a MACD at the bottom line, smooth line on top. As you can see, they're getting thinner and thinner, closer together, and they're going to turn up. They are on the positive end. This leads me to believe that in the next, I would say 2 days, because of the hourly chart, which I'll get to in a second, CYBL will have a breakout, in my opinion, using all these indicators, the weekly, the daily, the moving averages, the MACD, all of these things are lining up. Look at the RSI, okay? We ran from 17th September to 30th of September, very high zones. We got up to 94%, almost 95%. Okay, remember, overbought zone starts at 70%, so almost 25, or we were 25% over that at one point and just holding it for a long time. So huge recovery zone, okay, as it's going through. So this leads me to indicate that once it bounces off this 3 times, it's going to go up and through, in my opinion. Okay, nothing's 100%, but based on these, I have a good feeling that it's going to happen. Now, to solidify my argument here that a breakout is coming, the hourly on CYBL, all right, as we take a look, we see that it's been in the negative, it comes up in the positive. It's just doing this up and down kind of rotation. Notice how the MACD has crossed over to the bullish side, okay? And not only that, it's heading to the positive end as well. If we come up here, or actually if you look at the stochastic meter right here, okay, it's doing the same thing, all right, bullish. Now if we look over here, we can see that the 8MA is coming up and over the 21 right here, which is a very bullish thing. But not only that, remember, you have to look at the angles that these things are taking. Notice how the 21 free for all, notice how these free for all, it's because the price is dropping. But as soon as this curls, it flattens out, and look what happens when the 21 curls up, okay? Boom. All right. So what's about to happen? All right. It made a golden cross on the short term on the hourly. All right. We have this green candle for a reason right here. It's finding resistance because think of that. Think of the pot with the lid on it. The steam's growing right now. What's going to happen? Boom. All right. Problem with this one right now, it's a temporary problem, is you've got 2 lids on this thing. All right. So it's got boom and then boom. It's got to kind of get up and out. So that's why I'm thinking more of that 2-day scenario. It could be tomorrow. Not saying it won't happen, but Wednesday seems like the day that it will break out, in my opinion. I mean, CYBL is a monster. I've been saying it for a while. I think long term it's a great stock. So, yeah, I think that's going to be massive. All right, MJWL is a huge, huge beast in the making. Um, let's look at this, and this is why it's taken so long for this pullback. All right, this goes back to ENZC. Okay, the longer you run, the higher you run, the longer the cool off. Okay, we talked about going from this 0012 level to 2651. Okay, 192 days it took to get there. Okay, almost 5 billion in volume during this whole time, during that time frame, and then 2639 is the price increase. Okay, that's 22,000% increase. All right, it takes time for 22,000% increases to cool down. So as we're going through here, okay, if you don't understand why I think this is so bullish, I highly suggest you check out my other YouTube video of code green, blue, yellow, purple. Okay, so look what we got set up here. Okay, so we're recovering. Let's look at the weekly first. By default, it goes to my settings on my first chart, which was set on the daily. So everything here will be set to daily. All right, so all right, expecting a bullish week this week. So this is going to increase this up. So 2 weeks, I think that we get this golden cross right here on the short term. All right, we've already got this here. All right, as you can see, it might even, yeah, because the MACD is usually a little ahead of the moving averages. So 2 weeks makes perfect sense. So the MACD will cross over, okay, which will entail bring this up and over as well. So this will be a full-on bullish weekly chart. Last time it was weekly bullish. We went from here to here. Okay. So these are weekly candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Took 10 weeks for it to get to the all-time highs. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, so let's go to the daily. Okay, daily, we've got a nice market maker. Yes, thank you. Um, so many things rattle around in this brain. I appreciate the support, the help. Um, So as you notice, it's the 50s acting as support right here. So as we're going through, okay, we're coming up. We've got the 8 coming over that made a short-term golden cross right here. So now we are full on bullish. All right. So now we got to create that step though. Remember, we don't want to go straight up. Okay. So we want that. We want the step kind of going up in here. So that's what I'm thinking here. Um, I know that today they didn't have financials coming out. I don't know, that wouldn't affect my decision in any way of selling this based on that, unless you were just a very short term holder. But I think this is just a step in the right direction, and that in 2 weeks the weekly is going to really just absolutely make this thing explode. Let's go to the hourly. Um, So because of that little sell right there, look, the indicators are still good. It's holding the 50 right here, so it's going to bounce above and go through. I think that this is an easy buy zone in my opinion, as it holds the 50 and goes up. I mean, look, it bounced right off of the 200 it opened today, all right, on the hourly. Called that right as it happened. That's an easy buy, in my opinion, based on the weekly what's coming and based on the daily what's coming. We're talking about all-time highs for MJWL, which if you think about is 26 and a half currently, all right, based on the current SP. All right, we're looking at, I don't like to give price targets because I mean, I just go with the indicators or whatever, but I mean, I see it going higher than 26 and a half. All right, a lot higher. So I'll leave it at that. So very bullish on this. AHFD. Okay, so AHFD had some great news coming out, or came out. So I was just swamped with toner and some other things today and stuff around the house, but I'm pretty sure it was really good news. Notice how it's holding the 8MA right here, okay, and it's coming up. Very bullish on here as well. That's why I was just saying sit on it. Okay, so you've got the daily coming in. So what we're going to think about the angles, everybody. Okay, so look at the support line holding very well. 18 was a no-brainer. Look at this. All right, this is the daily. Look how many times it's got really close to 18. That was a no-brainer decision in my opinion, right around there. Look how the MACD is coming up and crossing over. We are just mere days away from that happening. It's going to take a little bit of time because we really need this 21 to smooth back up. So we need this to come up as well. So, you're going to have a nice golden cross right here. But more importantly, we're going to want to see this 21 curl out and come up as well. So very bullish on this. Probably a week and a half away, week and a half away. Yeah. All right, so look, this is the issue right here, and as you can see, 200's moving above. Look how it bounces off of here and came back down. So if you were buying also at resistance, notice how 31's acting as resistance right here. All right, and it actually dropped below. I believe this is a resistance line 2 that I put up here. I'd have to go back and check it out, but I'm pretty sure as well. So it's just that steam pot kind of thing. We got to wait until this 50 gets a little closer as it pushes up. So this might come down a little bit, kind of build that next little notch up and go up. So week and a half, I'd say, somewhere in that time frame. But good news for you all, because I know you all ran really hot to the top. You were like 96%. Yeah, look at that. You guys were 96 RSI. So look at the cooldown of your RSI here. So you're building up a huge amount. And look, I mean, low doubles. That's pretty clutch for a low double play. Like I said, those are risky plays. As you can see, it comes up here, but this seems pretty solid in my opinion. All right, ILST. All right, let's look at the week. All right, so the weekly, very good. It's bounced off 21. We want it to hold there, by the way. So it's sitting at the 21 right now. Okay, so that one level, let's make sure that we hold that one level. Very important. We go to the daily. As you can see, it broke and held the trend line here. All right, and that was an issue on this. Oh, sorry, this trend line is for an hourly. I will go back and show you that in a second. But it fell beneath this 50 and it's kind of acting as resistance right here. If we go to the hourly here, okay, this is that red candle. I'm telling you. I mean, it doesn't make sense for a market maker to dump, in my opinion. I mean, there's no benefit right here for that to happen. That amount of shares. Um, that's, I mean, I, it's just not. I don't know. But you got the 200 up here. Look, it's just bounced off of here, but then it broke this support down low. Somebody just said F it, it looked like. Because this is hourlies. I mean, that basically looks like somebody just said F it. That's basically what it looked like to me. Um, so what you want to see is you want to see it broke that trend line. So this trend line gets removed. You need to find support. Um, it could find support right here. It could. It absolutely could. Look how it's holding off right here. This low, a higher low. Okay, so that is huge. All right, you want to hold that 101 right there. Very important that you hold that 101. Okay, I want to stress that enough. Hold that. You're going to have to get these moving averages up to break through. It's going to take a couple weeks to do. Yeah, I mean, it's just a unfortunate red candle right there. Very unfortunate. All right, IGEX. All right, so if we're going with IGX here, look at the weekly. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, you got to get a little of this, you got a little here, getting a little up here, getting a little down here. You know what I mean? It's just going to work with the weekly that way. So you can't always have green, everybody. All right, it's a beautiful chart. Look at this, building nicely, and it's going upwards. All right, so this is solid. I like the daily on IGEX. Um, Obviously, we want to see it hold there. It went below. It's technically below the 50, and the indicators are going down, which means, in my opinion, that the stock will drop tomorrow based on these indicators. So these will cross below, all right, because they're both going down and 50 is going up, so, and it's acting as a slight resistance unless there's a lot of buys. I see this going down some more. I don't think it like drastically falls or anything. Um, just looking, hold on. Probably find support. There's your support 8.8. All right, probably to like 8.8. Right in there, and then kind of bounce up goes. I mean, you guys saw the daily. I mean, the daily looks beaut, right? Like, but like I said, it just probably comes down just a little bit. What's this out of? All right, 8.4. All right, so you got 8.4 at the 21 on the daily too. So, I mean, that's pretty solid. You want to see this come up some more too. Let's keep an eye on it. I mean, I don't see anything bad. I mean, I don't want this indicator going down, obviously. We want to continue to see up. So let's see the support. It takes a day or two to see where these are kind of going from this process right here. But I mean, the weekly, I mean, you guys see, look at that scorching on the weekly. So it's going to be good long term, in my opinion. Okay, CGAC. All right, CGAC, it's under the 200 right here. I talked about it briefly. I mean, it's going to take a while for this one. It's got to bounce in here. You're going to have a breakout pennant here forming tomorrow. So you might get, what's going to happen is you get this breakout above the pennant, okay? And then this is the top. So you're talking about, we're at 34 here. I mean, we're talking, I mean, you could get a nice bump here, but the problem is you're not going to break a penny. All right, you're not going to break a penny until you get this down. Which I mean, look at the way this is coming in. You're looking at 2022 early. All right, to break above that. So it's going to take some time for that to happen. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining. Um, So the reason I say a breakout is, I mean, look, you got the 200 acting as support right here. We could bounce out. What could happen is come down a little bit here and then bounce up. I don't I don't see it falling below this trend line. It wouldn't make any sense, and then coming up and going through. So CGAC is. I said this on my stream, my spaces. I think it is a good swing play for now, but 2022 is more of a long term when it can get over that 200 kind of thing. Liga's great. I think it looks great. It's just taking a slight pullback right now. Look, we just made the golden cross on the weekly. All right, so it's building beautiful steps. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I believe I said on Sunday in Spaces that this would probably come back a day or two after, just to build that next leg up. I mean, look at these indicators. I mean, absolutely gorgeous right here. That's a golden buy, in my opinion. When you see something so clean like that, it makes decisions a lot more easy. Okay, so all we're looking for is for that green to come up and over and both this 21 and the 8 to go up, which it looks like it's about to happen very soon. Maybe some consolidation here and then bounce up. So a day or two away and this thing's off and running. All right, so Liga looks great in my opinion. CGBL. Oh, I don't think this one's coming up for me. Is it F? Oh no, I'm gonna have to, I'll whoever's that was, just DM me or send me a message. I can do one for you online on Twitter for you and do a run up. As we're running into this AHFD, I told you it needs a break above here. It's got a little ways to go. Um, but it's got to break above the 200, so it's there. It just needs a couple weeks. All right, I think, or a week and a half. I think it said. Close that. Physic. All right, so Physic. Let's look at the weekly first before we go into the daily. All right, so this is a little worrisome, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so it broke the 50 support. Okay, it really needs to consolidate here or hold here or no bueno. Okay. So that doesn't help my thought process looking here, but like I said, it could go. We don't want to see breaking below there. That's kind of a red flag, as you like to say. And as you go into the next indicator, they're going to be showing red flags. So, excuse me, these are day candles, bearish crossing upon another bearish crossing upon another bearish crossing. I mean, I don't see anything good coming out of this. Now, um, yeah, sorry. Really need to find some consolidation on here, and I think it just continues to fall. Um, yeah, I mean, this thing's going to continue to drop. I mean, I don't like breaking bad news or anything like that, but I tell you like it is, everybody. This one is a no bueno. I mean, look it, flying down, flying down, flying down, and it's in reverse order, bearish. I mean, look, as soon as you see the 200 go over, that's an indicator to bail, in my opinion. I mean, look, nothing's good has come from that. All right, same thing over here. What's going to happen is if this doesn't catch support soon or reverse in some way, all these indicators are going to go underneath on the daily. It's going to take even longer for it to recover. And then the weekly, look, I mean, this is bleeding down. It broke support at the 50, which leads me to believe that it could. I mean, I wouldn't say, I don't know, man. It's not good. It's definitely not good on BICZC. You just got to find support, and it's going to be a long recovery road. Just FYI. All right. So, all right, the beast, the one that actually helped me learn a lot of other things too. It was one of the best plays that I got wrong. It really helped out my game a lot. Um, if you don't know, I said ILUS was gonna dump over. Is it this run or the other one? I can't. It was somewhere in here. But it had a pullback. But some of the indicators I didn't understand at the time, and then I admitted my fault and I got it right on the other plays ever since then. If I didn't know that, it would have led to some of my learning cues that I know now, which is fantastic. I'm so glad it happened. All right, so weekly it's going to be bullish as AF. Yeah, look at this thing. Just riding the 8 up here. It's going to come back down. Notice how if it runs for a while and it hops above this 8, see how the space, this gap in, and it runs in. Look at the gapping between here. Okay, it's going to come back down and it usually comes back down and touches and comes back up. True stock, what up? He's the one that pointed that out one day. I was like, damn, dude, that's really good at eye-catching things. Like some of these things that you don't catch from videos or YouTubes and stuff like that, that you have to kind of observe and notice yourself. Um, it's really kind of cool. And it's really cool bouncing off those ideas with other people on Twitter that you see as well. So look, it's riding the 8, breaks down here on the daily, caught the 21. Okay, so then it came up it broke here. So it could have went down to the 50, all right? And what happened was it caught up, all right? And it made a huge turn. So looks like it's been consolidating here, okay? RSI is not overbought anymore. Look how high it was out there. Had a lot of time to cool, which was really good for the stock. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that it's ready for a turn up here soon. I mean, consolidation looks good. Okay, we saw the weekly. It probably comes down a little bit. Maybe it touches the 21 again just to satisfy that touching the 8 down here. Maybe. Not saying that it will. But I think 50s are in play and on soon for ILUS. And then we've got hourly here. It's a 50s acting there, bouncing off of here and coming down. Yeah, I think it just kind of pulls back a little bit some more. I mean, you're talking about a hard runner here. This thing's been absolutely beast moding it lately, so I think it just kind of finds that support on the 21 right here. Was that 39? Which would be, yeah, I was gonna say. So that would be the 200 on the um, yeah, so maybe it comes down that low. It could go that low. I'm not saying it will, and then kind of goes up, and then I think it's ready for the next step. But I definitely see it growing. Um, RGBP. Okay, so this one is a pattern stock that I've noticed. I mean, look at this, identical, or nearly identical, I should say. All right, so if we look at the weekly, all right, look at this 200. Okay, it didn't boost above it until look at it, it had a huge candle on the weekly that one, and it's kind of used it as support, but now it didn't even get across until recent. So all of our indicators are finally catching up. Remember, this is weekly. Each candle takes a week to do, so they haven't been in sync for a long time. All right, that's why this thing really hasn't taken off. Um, 'Cause, I mean, look, I mean, this thing was all the way up. So what we need, what's going to happen is in several weeks, um, that this 8MA should turn around and start coming up. And this could lead to a massive run on RGBP. Um, So let's see, 200 on the dailies at the bottom. So we're really kind of waiting on the weekly to kind of come around, and that's why it's been taking so long for the stock to get going, it looks like. Um, you got to get the 50 down here, and you got to get, well, not down here. You just need to get the 21 and the 8 above here. So a nice break right here would be good. Um, Look, this is what you guys basically been doing. All right, this is why I didn't buy this jump right here because this is what I thought was going to happen and looks exactly like it's going to happen here. All right, so you're going to do bump, kind of run, bump and run, bump, run, bump, run, and then once that weekly's in play here, comes down, then we could see a huge one in 2022 with RGBP. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be very interesting in 2022. APTY, I was actually talking this true stock today. Um, this one's getting close. This one's really getting close. I mean, weekly, you guys could see the weekly bouncing up, come through very strong, coming through. All indicators are good. All right, so coming through here as well. Um, it's just been in this huge bullish flag forever. Um, yeah, it's just growing, cooling off, doing the second round right here. Is that a gap I see? All right, so notice how the 21's coming down, the 8's going up right here. That's good, but you're going to need this to flatten out as well. And have the 8 come up as well. So we're talking about this is a daily, so we're talking about several days. You can see the max kind of turning on here, so it's kind of going to go. Trying to see if it has a past. It's not really flat enough right here. Um, we're gonna have to see this 21 kind of smooth out, come up before. So you're looking at probably a weekish. Because remember, that's only 5 trading days from now. So yeah, 5, 10 trading days. Maybe we should start saying this in days instead of weeks. Um, yeah, and also you got the 200 over the hourly, but that's going to change. Look at everything popping up right here. It's running parallel. As soon as this comes up, it's going to bump up and above. SP is kind of relative when I'm talking about recovery time because somebody who gets in at 1.5 right here, 1.7, recovery time for this whole thing to cross over could be when it's up into the low to mid twos. So got to keep that in mind. That's like toner when I was getting in. This was before the indicators were there, but I saw the indicators coming, kind of deal. So we're seeing the indicators coming in on these ones as well. They're weeks out that you got to be patient on, and you got to have those convictions about because there's days that when they're gonna cross it, the big bang's gonna happen. It's gonna be really good. All right, ETK, we talked about that a little bit, and then ENZC right there as well. All right. No problem. Well, oh man, no problem. I'm just glad to help. Really, I mean, you're talking about somebody who knew nothing. If you haven't caught any of my previous videos, or my chats, especially my spaces I told you on there. I've been teaching for nearly 10 years now at the elementary level, and I got into OTC trading in 2020 in August with RLFTF, and it was on a whim with my father-in-law, and I couldn't believe what was going on, and I had nothing, I had no idea what I was doing for you know 8 months probably, and then 2021 came around, and I really we saw the March thing happen, and I was like, this is baloney. So I started to push myself. I started to learn because I'm just not that type of person to sit back and just accept it. Like I said, if I do something wrong, I'd like to know how I did it wrong. Um, it's just that competitive nature in me. I mean, I literally started my Twitter account just so I could have more followers than my wife. My wife had 103 followers or something like that. I was like, all right, I'm gonna start a Twitter and I'm gonna beat you. And then it started going, and I was like, oh, I got 200, now I got 300, and she's just like shaking her head. And then, a month later, I'm sitting at 20, 22, 2300. It's freaking hilarious. Um, Silver, did you catch my INND? I did that towards the beginning. Sky, I can pull up right now. Oh, cool. Excellent. Yeah. So this live video, so if I don't do them live, I record them, I chop them up, I put my stuff. I don't really chop it up, but I put my headliners in it. As soon as I'm done with this, everybody, it just kind of uploads by itself and just pops up. I gave it a title. It's the live video on today's date, so it pop up. So just go back and check out the IND one. It's right near the beginning. I go in order from my top screen right here, so just kind of keep an eye on that as I click it. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. I really do appreciate that. If you don't already, please subscribe, like. It really does help that out for my audience and just growing that with the YouTube community. Twitter's obviously blowing up like crazy because it's easier to communicate and stay on that. It's a little harder with the YouTube side of things, but I feel like the YouTube side of things is a little bit more helpful because it's a little more hands-on, and I can communicate. I could show you guys what I like to see, and make it more understanding for you all as well. So yeah, so Sky, let's look at the weekly. Let's go through that. Okay, so first indication you're looking at is you're finding that 200. It's above, so you know it's in a bearish trend, and that's why it's going down. Okay, so if we look over here, look, as soon as it hits that bearish crossing, look what the SB does, all right? And it's just continuing to drizzle down. So keep in mind, this is a weekly, so you're talking about a longer time frame because each one of these candles represents 1 week. So obviously this is very bearish. You want to find bottom. All right, we're starting to see something possibly getting going. We just want to see sideways action. That's consolidation. You just want to see it just go this way, literally for weeks. I know that's not something you want to hear. Obviously, you want it to go up, but just that would be a huge improvement for the stock and make it go up. All right, so if we go to the daily on here, we're getting closer. I mean, it just made that cross, but I mean, everything's turning down. That's the problem. All right. And this is why it's going to take the weekly so long to recover. Because look, down, down. All right. That hasn't even affected the 50 yet to come down. Okay. So just consolidating and going sideways for weeks. I mean, weeks, I mean, months. I know it's not what you want to hear, but that is what's gonna needs to happen. Okay, so I mean, look at the angles. All right, all going down here. Just made the cross. It's bearish. It's gonna do that. It's gonna take a long time for Sky to turn it around on here as well. Um, yeah, so I mean, all these things are coming down right now. So unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't. Hey, no problem, Rita. Um, METX, yeah. So METX, I thought there was like a 90-day offer or something that came up, and I thought that was going to impact it, and I think that's why it's kind of going down. There was some news about it. I'm not the DD guy. I mean, I look up stuff, I check it out, but it's not something I share or do anything about. So check out the news that recently came out last week about METX if you haven't already. News affects the stock, obviously. All right. So let's go to the weekly of METX, and I know from my previous ones, I feel like that it's like way up there. This is a stock that, oh, no, no, no. Okay. So as you can see, it hasn't been around that long. Okay. So there's no 200 on here yet. 50 just occurred here, 21 here, 8-day here because 8 days. Okay. It's still, or 8 weeks, 8 candles represents this. Okay. Then you've got 21, you represents here, and then you get it, so on and so forth. So we haven't even had 200 days of this stock yet. So what we're looking for right now, and we're going to about to get it, it looks like, because look at the trajectory of here, is we're going to get a bullish cross. But what's going to happen is it's going to come up, all right, and which is fine. I mean, look at the SP over here on the right side as I'm going up here. Okay, don't ignore these colors. These are just my support and resistance lines that I was messing around with on here. Just look at the gray number on the right here. Okay, so as you can see right now, we're sitting here. We're sitting at this crossing right here, and we want this to go up and above. So this is a weekly. So 2 weeks, week or two, it's going to cross upwards because it's been making pretty good headway as long as it holds it. Um, there's the 200. So there's been 200 on the daily. There wasn't 200 weeks yet. So as you can see, this thing is screaming down. So it's going to take some time for METX. Now, I'm not saying that you could, I mean, look, the 200's all the way up at a buck 20. Okay, so it's not unfathomable that this thing could go and touch the 200. Okay, but keep in mind, going over the 200 is a little extreme. All right, so that means over a buck 20 at the current moment is essentially slightly doubling your money. But getting to $1 isn't out of the realm of things happening. It could happen. Um, but anything beyond that is just not fathomable for a while because of the 200 being so high. So if we go over to the daily over here, okay, we've got a bearish trend, all right? and this is just caught off the daily, and this is why it's that, and this is why the indicators are so important, and I can't stress that enough. And when you're charting and everything, you know, you got to look at the order of the moving indicators, okay, being the weakest at the top, strongest at the bottom, okay, and then you got to look at the angle of all these things, because look, 200 screaming up because it takes a long time to activate and really push that thing down. But it's very easy to push down the 8, very easy to push down the 21, and then you got the 50. And look, they're all broke behind. This just broke below. If this was me, I actually sold my METX at a loss. Oh man, it was a small loss. It wasn't anything big. I think I sold it like, I think it hit my stop loss at like 4.8 or something like that. But as you can see, it hit this bearish mode on the daily, or on the hourly, excuse me. So it's going to continue to drop. Okay, there's no signs of that. And then look, we're kind of dribbling down, coming down here as well. So I think that the stock is going to cool down a lot here. I'm trying to look at, so this is the support. As you can see, it's holding that support line right here. Um, it would be extremely helpful for this stock if it held this support line at the 51. All right, yeah, I got stopped out over here, right here actually. Oh, maybe it was here. Yeah, it stinks, but whatever. And then it really needs to hold this level. The difference in between the run and run before, and this is what I want you to look at, because I know you're looking over to the left side and you're saying, but Mr. Realistic, look, it went down and it touched this, and then it came up and it found that support. Yes, yes, it did. But where was the 200 moving average during that time? Okay, it was beneath it. Look, it was holding that support. All right, there was it was never the 200 was never over top of it. Now it's over top of it. Now it's a new ball game. Okay, so this right here, when you see this, especially on a BB stock, a big stock, you're going to see a lot of shorts come in at this particular area because of this bearish movement. Okay, so you're going to get a lot of heavy shorting pressure from there, and that's why. And what was I want to show you guys one thing, and yes, I can get into KRFG for you. Give me a second. Um, where is it? So fun. Okay, so METX, I'm pretty bearish in the near term right now. It's going to take a while for that to happen. Um, it was really, you're playing breakouts with that one. All right, so let's look at fun here. Okay, so fun is a relatively new guy here. Try to zoom out as much as possible. Okay, so yeah, so no 200, as you guys can see, new stock weekly. Oh, you know what? I think it just popped. Is it one of those ones that just popped in? No, it's not there yet. Okay, so huge run up. These are weekly candles right here, but they're still bullish. Okay, because they've still got them on between here. So let's go daily. All right, so look at this. So we had a huge push up. Okay, obviously a massive gap in between here. Well, look, we've got bullish indicators right here. This isn't gone bearish yet, and I expect it to kind of go slightly under and then come back up. But just think about DWalk and Fun essentially have the same chart. They run together, okay? And they're Momo plays, all right? So if we look at the Momo breakout here, all right, our indicators are completely bullish. And as you see, it's going down here and here. Look at the RSI on this thing, 101. Or wait, right there, 100. I mean, through the roof. You knew it was going to take a long time for this thing to recover. That was, yeah, yeah, 99.32% on the daily. Insanity. So you know it's going to take a long time for this thing to recover, okay? So we've been in this long recovery mode for fun here, okay? And I've said it before, all right? When I first said it came out, is obviously just a pump. They wanted to go, 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 go. All right, and that's definitely there. These momentum plays can be fun and very lucrative because of a large following behind there. Because a lot of people don't like to play OTC stocks like the big guys and everything, but they will play momentum, and all the momentum goes to these things. So if you're looking at the hourly, all right, like we are right now, okay, look at this, all right, screamed up, blocked it, so it kept coming down, okay, so you're just going to find that resistance beneath the 200, all right. I mean, it's wild. Look at this thing shoot up. I've never seen anything like that. It's crazy. And then pull a freaking 180 essentially, all right. So look, it's coming back down and in. So in my opinion, the play here is the hourly, okay. And look, we know the weekly's bullish. I don't even want to go back up and through there. And this is still bullish. And this is a daily. It takes nothing to turn this 8 MA, a couple days to get that rolling right here. So if we look at the hourly right here, fun, okay, we are sitting in a huge consolidation zone. And just look at these moving averages, all right? And I will say, just looking being in the stock, they have stopped everything. They've manipulated this thing, and hence like why you get such jaggedy things going through here. And but once the momentum catch on, these scanners catch it, and this just it flies up. I was here for this one on here. I should have sold up here. I was driving though, safe. Um, so I mean, the momentum just kicks in, and I mean, it is absolutely. I mean, wild. You know, I got in at I think about a 340. I thought it was good. I saw it breaking out of a pennant, and this thing shot up so fast, up to 5. I was like, oh, I'm in for the next run. Oh, I'm holding on here. But, you know, I didn't really look at the indicators on all of them, which was a rookie mistake. And noticed that the 200 was all above, so it got rejected from the 200 here. I should have sold right up here. Once again, driving, not really able to look at the chart because it happened so fast. This was in an hour chart. All right. So, and then it got rejected and came back down. So, what's going to happen now is this thing's going to continue to go. So, we're a couple days, I'd say like let's keep an eye on this by the end of the week, mid to end of the week. As this comes down and above and these come up and above, all right, this is when the turn is going to happen. Obviously, they're going down right now, but I'm looking at this 50, and I want to see this 50 hold as this is coming down. Once all these indicators are in the right place and they're all starting to go upwards, man, this thing is going to be the talk of the town again. And it's not that far away, in my opinion. I don't think we're that far away. I mean, as you guys saw the daily, you saw the weekly, we're not too far away at all from a huge Momo play breaking out from here if if the shorts allow it going through here. But look, uh, negative on the 30. So it's definitely going to take some time, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. It's nothing to play around with right now, but in the near future, this could be a very lucrative thing to keep an eye on of in and out possibly. So it'd be really fun. Yeah, no problem. KRFG. All right, this has got to be my last one. I gotta hit the head, hit the bed too. All right, so weekly. Okay, so as you can see, weekly 4 5 straight is started the 5th week red. Very bearish. For that reason, what you need is you're going to need several. You're going to need you need to find support here. You gotta find support here and consolidate and make sure this is the weekly. So we need the support here. We need it to go sideways and then come back up or just reverse. So this isn't like straight up downfall. Because what happens is not only is this in free fall, this then turns into the next free fall. And what happens is it goes down to the next one happens to it, and then the 200 comes over top of it, and you don't want to mess with that. Really don't want to mess with this. The play on this stock um, on the reversal right here was right here. So if you bought in at you know, 069, and then you ran it up here, okay, and then you got out at, 2. Okay, that was the play here as it reversed and kind of headed south. I would have never saw this coming. I don't know if there was bad news or something. I mean, yeah, I'm just looking at this. This is a weekly, by the way. So you're thinking of this as the next step and then going upwards. The fact that it did this, something had to have changed. Something, I don't know what it did. Um, if there was news or something. Look, it broke below the 200. 200 lost support. Very bearish when that happens too. And as you can see, the 8's going below. 21's going to go. There's going to go. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Just I hate to break it to you this way, but that's exactly what's happening right here. All right, everything's breaking down on the stock right here. Okay, and then soon, look over here. All right, perfect example. Okay, stock had a great run. Okay, so we had a huge run from 0009. Let's do the measurement so you can really see um, as we go through here. Okay, so roughly about 4,600%. So that's a huge run, 102 days. Um, so yeah, I mean, look, that's just going to take a lot out on the stock. So what happens is it's not like this. It's not. This isn't long enough. This is hourly for a recovery. This is a massive recovery for a stock that ran up like this. It's going to take time. This is like Rgbp. I mean, look, you get this massive runoff. It takes time for them to come back. All right, look, it takes time for these things to come back. So you're gonna have to be really patient if you plan on staying in that stock because um, that was daily, by the way, on Rgbp. So we haven't even see what you're looking for is that consolidation. Look, swoop. All right, so going in, and so if we go to Rgbp and look at that, kind of go here. All right. So you're looking for this consolidation part right here before you get the recovery phase. But since it broke the support on the 200 on the daily, the weekly, I mean, man, weekly's falling down. And then the hourly, you've got, this is what I want to get into. Look at 200 over. It's been below it the whole time. All right, you got to bump up out of here. You basically had to have taken it right here and said, all right, I got to cut because as you can see, it's coming back and now it's just in free fall mode and no signs of even tapping the 50 before it can tap the 200 to try and get above it because it's just need to consolidate and go sideways so that this thing can kind of just do this again. All right, so that's what you're looking for is you want to see this. This is where you're currently at right now. Okay, just getting elongated. Okay, and what you want is this. All right, so you're here. Say you're here. Okay, you need this. Okay, to get this. Okay, this is going to take some time. All right, so that's exactly what it's going to do. Yeah, I mean it's basically what everything anything with a big runner does. If your stock runs hard for a long time, take the profit, let it cool down. If you like the stock, come back to it. You just don't get stuck with it. You did all the hard work. You got in early. You secure it. It's gonna. It has to cool off. It absolutely has to. Every stock has to. All right, that's how a stock runs. All right, JPEX. Okay, so I mean, this is fine. Slight curl, not a big deal. Holds 21. We definitely want that on the weekly. And then, all right, broke 50 here on the daily. So that's no bueno right there. And as you see, indicators are going down. Um, I personally don't think it goes to the 200 just based on what I know. No guarantees on that. It's definitely in a recovery phase. Um, looking at it, maybe 105. I mean, 200s, 102. Hold on 1 second. Broke that support level right. No, it's right at it. Okay. I did. All right. Let's go check out the hourly before I get into that. Okay. So, all right. Once again, look at 200 after you did the weekly and the daily. Follow that up. You can see 200's over, so it's going to go bearish down there, but it comes up through. All right, it comes through the top. Okay, so now you're looking at a downturn right now with the 200 on top, and you're looking at the 50 and a free fall right here. Now, much like we just saw in the last stock, what you want to see is that consolidation piece. I'm just looking. Okay. I was like, there's got to be a support level right here. So you do. 213. Do not want to break that. Okay. It can throw a wick through it, but you don't want the body. Like, see the wick coming through? That's not a big deal. All right. See how that happened right here? Okay. Not a big deal. But the body of the candle you want at or above the line as it closes out. So that's each hour on these candles. Okay, so very important. That's why you'll see a lot of support or like high bid supports on level two. It's because they don't want that level to be broken. Okay, so you're seeing sideways action here. Just trying to yeah. So you really want to see these flatten out right here, which it looks like it does. So I mean, in an hour or two, the market open tomorrow, give it like 2 or 3 hours and look at the hourly candles and see what they're doing on there. And see if they're holding that support zone. And if they are, that's a great thing. So the next thing you would want to do is as this 50 is coming down, you're going to want to see these come up and above them and then both kind of work together. And then you're going to want to kind of get above that. It's just in a recovery mode right now. I mean, look, this is another stock that was pushed pretty hard. It doesn't matter how good the news is, and this is why sell the news happens is because you push, you just run out. Okay. Obviously, it's not a huge run up like our last stock that we looked at, so the recovery phase is a lot shorter. You're talking about a 350 run here. Okay, from right here. I mean, I'm just looking at the factor in the masses here. Okay, so just to be on the safe side, what we're looking at. Okay, so you're looking at a 3,000 run on 164 days. Okay, so that was back on June 7th. Anybody got in? That started the run. Okay, so technically this run has been going on since June 7th. Okay, kind of cooled off. It hasn't pushed it crazy. I mean, if we let's look at the RSI. I mean, look, the days that we got these pops right here. I mean, they push it really hard to the 90s several times. That's what kind of cost it. So what you really want to do is find the support, and this is what I believe wholeheartedly. I can't. There's absolutely no guarantees. Anything is what I see based on charts that I've seen in the past. Is this looks like a support zone, a new higher low. Okay, so as we've talked about the stock going up and up and up. All right. At some point, it has to come back and it has to find new support so that it can grow higher. Okay. And that's what I believe that JPEX is doing right now. I don't care about any of the news or whatever, um, the document that they accidentally put out beforehand. I don't think that mattered. This was going to happen no matter what. You're talking about a 3,000 run over that in the long run, and you're talking about 300%. I mean, this could have gone some more. But I mean, in the long run, I've told you, if if it's gonna run hard, the harder it runs, the faster and harder it runs, the longer it's gonna take to recover. So this is probably the best thing that could have happened for JPEX, as long as it can hold this support level, which I think it will. I mean, look at the weeklies; it looks fine. It looks like it's gonna do well. Look, you're getting kind of this doge down here, which is great. That's what you want to see. You want to get a hammer. Look up a inverted hammer at the bottom of a reversal. It's a very, very bullish turnaround. All right, on a weekly, that would be even more bullish. So that'd be fantastic. So that's what you're kind of looking for right here is the support zone. And I mean, if you look at it, it looks like it's going to play like a support level here. I can't guarantee anything. It could just dip a little bit below there, but you really don't want to see this thing dipping too far down below. But this could be good. Hold here and then break up to new higher highs. So you just got to keep an eye on it. It's got to break. It's got to find consolidation and then break above the 50 and the 200 and put the 200 at the bottom. The 200 and the 50 are super close to the small, so it doesn't look like a long time for a huge recovery. Like maybe 2 weeks or something, like 10 trading days, maybe less. Like I said, it wasn't from this part to here is only 330%, so it's not a huge run or whatever it was to here. So it shouldn't take that long to recover. I mean, if I told you that this would turn around and this would go double in a month, I mean, I'm pretty sure you'd be happy. So as long as this holds here, it's definitely going to do some solid reversal in my opinion coming up. It's just you're just going to have to wait a couple days to see where the if this holds and if the indicators if they're starting to turn. Okay, and that's what you want to keep an eye on. All right. All right, everybody. I am out as well. Thank you all for coming and joining me. I hope you all had a fantastic time. Thanks for sharing some of the tickers and everything and helping me out with some of my lost thoughts with our market makers and our spaces. Tomorrow's a great day for toner and a great day for everything else. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week, and I will catch you.